Welcome to class. We have Anthony is going to do a show and tell. Okay, Anthony, go ahead. What do you have to see? Sure. Oh. Okay. Do you know? Say hi, I'm Anthony.
Hi.
Hurry. It's your turn.
What is that? Look. Oh my goodness. It's a fake snake.
It's a what snake?
Rubber snake.
A rubber snake. It's a fake snake. Can you show me how long it goes?
This long.
Long, very long. How many times can it go on you? Oh my goodness. Okay, so say it again. It's a fake snake.
This is a fake snake.
How long have you had that snake?
I don't know.
Say it's my mom's.
Mom's.
How long has your mom had that snake?
I know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Say 20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
That time.
My sister gave it to me for a birthday present when I was a teenager. So, and the kids like it, right? Do you like snakes?
Yeah.
What do snakes eat?
Fish.
Fish?
Yeah.
Mice
Nice.
and other small rodents, right? Okay. Now
Oh,
you
what
can.
is mice?
Mice is a mouse. Mice is plural for mouse.
Okay.
You could have one mouse or two mice
Mom,
or three mice. What?
what am I gonna have to do?
Now you can go to Patrick. All right, now we're gonna have Trevor come and he's going to do our grammar cards. Okay, so he'll ask you these questions. Your turn. You go. So put it up so they can see it maybe. See it?
Card 1. What is a noun?
Nice and close. What is a noun, Trevor?
A noun is a person, place, or thing.
Yep.
What is a pronoun? What is a pronoun? Give 6 examples. A pronoun is a word or
A word
that replaces a noun. Example is like he, she, and we, I, you, it, they, them, her, him, his, my,
etc.
it's.
Okay, so there's lots of pronouns, and these are just some of them.
What is a verb? A verb is an action word. Like if you're jumping, you're like, or walking, that's an action verb.
Next.
What is a subject? A subject is who or what is acting or being in the sentence. What does an adjective describe? What does an adverb adverb describe? An adjective describes a noun. A adverb describes a verb, and an adjective or another adverb. In addition, to start with a capital letter ending with a punctuation.
What three things does a
proper noun,
proper sentence have?
proper sentence?
What must it have?
In addition, starting a capital letter ending with punctuation is a sentence needs three things: a subject, a verb, and a complete thought.
Okay, why don't you hold that up so they can see that what you just read? Okay, so a proper sentence needs to start with a capital letter, end with punctuation, and it needs to have a subject, a verb, and a complete thought.
Do you capitalize seasons? No, you do not capitalize seasons. When do you capitalize north, south, and east and west? You capitalize north, south, east, and west when indicating a region. Do you capitalize them when you icon
Indicating.
indicating a dictation?
No, direction.
Direction.
Okay, north, south, east, and west. You only capitalize it if you're indicating a region, like the north, the south, South Korea, South Africa, North America, but not if you're saying go north. That's not capital.
Do you capitalize a family name such as mom, dad, aunt, or grandmother? The answer is no, you do not capitalize family.
No, it says when do you capitalize them? When would you capitalize mom? I know. You do. You can capitalize them when it does not come after a pronoun. So if you were saying my mom, then you don't capitalize the word mom. But when it doesn't come after a pronoun and you could replace the person's name, then you do capital. Last card
is a sentence type.
No, what are the 4 sentence types?
4 sentence types.
Anthony?
The 4 sentence types are script,
statement,
question, command, and exclamation.
So hold that one up. All right, go get your picture. These are the 4 sentence types. So a statement will end with a period. Question will end with a question mark. Command will end with a period or an exclamation mark. Stop bumping, Mom. And then an exclamation sentence will end with an exclamation mark. All right, now we're going to have Patrick come and read a book called... No, Patrick's going to come sit down. Go on. Patrick's gonna read a book.
This book is it's a Mr. Men book. They are like very small books and short, but
From the UK.
yeah, they're from United Kingdom. So it's called Mr. Strong. This is a story of Mr. Strong. Mr. Strong is the strongest person in the whole wide world. The strongest person there has ever been, and probably the strongest person there ever will be. He is so strong he can bend an iron bar with his bare hands. He can also tie knots in. Mr. Strong is so strong he can throw a cannonball as far as you or I can throw a tennis ball. Mr. Strong is so strong he can hammer nails into the wall by just tapping them with his finger. Mr. Strong by his name and strong by nature. Do you want to know the secret of Mr. Strong's strength? Eggs. The more eggs Mr. Strong eats, the stronger he becomes. Stronger and stronger and stronger. Anyway, this is about a funny thing that happened to Mr. Strong one day. That morning he was having breakfast, and for breakfast he was having eggs, followed by eggs, and to finish he was having, guess what? That's right, eggs. It was Mr. Strong's normal breakfast. After his eggy breakfast, Mr. Strong cleaned his teeth. As usual, he squeezed all the toothpaste out of the tube. And as usual, he cleaned his teeth so hard he broke his toothbrush. Mr. Strong gets through a lot of toothpaste and toothbrushes. After that, he decided to take a walk. He put on his hat and opened the front door to his house. Crash! What a beautiful day, he thought to himself, and stepping outside, he shut his front door. Bang! The door fell off its hinges. Mr. Strong gets through a lot of front doors. Mr. Strong went for his walk. He walked through the woods, but he wasn't looking where he's going and walked slap bang into a huge tree. Crack! The huge tree was snapped, and the tree thundered to the ground. Whoops, said Mr. Strong. He walked into town, and again, he was not looking where he's going. He walked slap bang straight into a bus. Now, as you know, if you or I were to walk into a bus, we'd get run over, wouldn't we? Now, I'm Mr. Strong. The bus had stopped as if it had run into a brick wall. Whoops, said Mr. Strong. Eventually, Mr. Strong walked through the town and out into the country to a farm. The farmer met him in the road, looking very worried. What's the matter? Asked Mr. Strong. It's my cornfield, said the farmer. It's on fire and I can't put it out. Mr. Strong looked all over the hedge. Sure enough, the cornfield was blazing fiercely. Water, said Mr. Strong. You must get water to put on out the fire. But I don't have enough water to put out a whole field, cried the worried farmer. And the nearest water is down at the river, and I don't have a pump. Then we'll have to find something else to carry the water, replied Mr. Strong. Is that your barn? asked the farmer. He asked the farmer, pointing to a barn in another field. Yes, that I was going to put my corn in it, said the farmer. But can I use it? Asked Mr. Strong. Yes, but replied the perplexed farmer. Mr. Strong walked over to the barn, and then, do you know what he did? He picked it up. He actually picked up the barn. The farmer couldn't believe his eyes. Then Mr. Strong carried the barn above his head down to the river. And then he turned the barn upside down. He lowered it into the water so that it filled up with water. Then on at this. And then this shows Mr. Strong how strong Mr. Strong is. He picked it up and carried it back to the blazing cornfield. Mr. Strong emptied the upside-down barn full of water over the flames. Sizzle, sizzle, sputter, sputter. 1 minute the flames were leaping high into the air. The next minute they'd gone. However, can I thank you? Said the farmer asked Mr. Strong. Oh, it was nothing, remarked Mr. Strong modestly. But I must find some way to reward you, said the farmer. Well, said Mr. Strong, you're a farmer, so you must have chickens. Yes, lots, said the farmer. And chickens lay eggs, went on Mr. Strong, and I rather like eggs. Then you shall have as many eggs as you can carry, said the farmer, and took Mr. Strong over to the farmyard. Mr. Strong said goodbye to the farmer and thanked him for the eggs, and the farmer thanked him for helping. Then Mr. Strong, just using one finger, picked up the eggs and went home. Mr. Strong put the eggs carefully down on his kitchen table and went to close the kitchen door. Crash! The door fell off its hinges. Whoops, said Mr. Strong, and sat down. Crunch! The chair fell into bits. Whoops, said Mr. Strong, and started cooking his lunch. And for lunch he was starting with eggs, followed by an egg or two, and then eggs, and then for his pudding he was having, can you guess what? If you can, there's no need to turn this page over to find out what he was having. Ice cream.
Thank you, Patrick. That's a fun book. Maybe we can have him read more of these. There's a whole series. There's all these Mr. Men. And then they also have ones that are for the girls called Little Miss. So there's the boy version and then there's the girl version. Okay, I'm going to try and cover a difficult topic today about verb tenses. So you all know, probably already, that we have past, present, and future tense in English, but there are actually 12 verb tenses. Okay, and they all have these 3 within them. So, for example, you could have simple past tense, simple present tense, or simple future tense. And that's the one that you're probably most familiar with, like, I walk to school. Oh, my internet's unstable. Or I walked to school would be past tense. I walked. Or I will walk to school will be future. That's just all the simple past, simple present, simple future. Okay. We also have past perfect, present perfect, and future perfect tenses. Okay, and that one is very tricky to explain and understand. So I'm skipping that one today, and we'll do this continuous one. So over here, we're going to do past continuous, present continuous, and then future continuous. Okay. All right. So, for example, we'll go over present continuous is what is happening at the moment. Like, I am teaching this class. That's happening right now. Okay. He is sleeping. That's present continuous because it's happening now. Past continuous would be what was happening at a specific moment. Okay, so the past continuous would be like, I was playing tennis at 7. That is past continuous. So it's what's happening at a specific moment in the past. Or like he wasn't doing his homework when I looked in his room. So that's, even though that's just maybe just a few minutes ago, it's still past continuous, okay? And then future continuous would be what will be happening at a specific moment in the future. Okay, so that would be like, I will be teaching a class at 7 tomorrow. That's future continuous because it's not just in the future, it's at a specific moment. So do you see that how they're all three at specific moments? Because if it's present continuous, it's happening right now, specifically now. It's ongoing. And past continuous is what was happening at a specific time in the past. And then the future continuous is what will be happening in a future time. So for example, there's something that some people in native English speakers would say, like, this time tomorrow, I will be starting my new job. That's in the future, and it's also at a specific time because they're saying like exactly 24 hours from now. This time tomorrow would be whatever time it is now, but tomorrow. Or you could even say this time next month, I'll be going on vacation. Okay, so that's not saying like a specific time like 7 p.m. or 8 a.m. or something, but it is still a specific time. And it can be any time down the road, like this time next year, I'll be graduated with my master's degree. Okay, so all of that will be future continuous. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you now about past perfect continuous. Okay, now I'm trying to think if maybe I should go over some of these first, so you know what the perfect tense means. Like, let's talk for a second about present perfect tense. So this is something that began in the past and is now continuing to the present. Okay, so if I ask you a question, how long have you been a student? That's assuming that right now you're already a student now and that you started previously. Okay, so that would be present perfect. So it began in the past, but it's continuing into now. That would be present perfect. Past perfect would be what happened before something else happened in the past. Okay, so like by the time I got home, the kids had finished their homework. Does that make sense? So that's past perfect. Or Jack had already eaten when he arrived at work. Or maybe you're talking about your trip that you went on and somebody asks you, had you spent all your money? This is all past perfect. Something that had already happened before something else happened in the past. Okay? And the future perfect would be what will have happened up to a certain point. Now, this is where it's kind of confusing. Okay, so like if I asked you, by the time you finish your degree, how many years will you have studied? So here you're thinking, will you have? That's in the future, but it's future perfect. So it's up to a certain point in the future. All right, so like if I said, by this time next year, how much money will you have earned? Or how many cars will you have purchased by next summer? Something like that. That is something that started already and it happened up to a certain point in the future. Like you're asking in the future, what by this point? Okay, so that would be future perfect. So now we can kind of talk more about this perfect continuous. So we'll start with present perfect continuous, okay? And by the way, after this class, I'm going to send a chart onto the WhatsApp group that has it has a chart of all of these types of verb tenses. Okay. All right, so we'll talk about present perfect continuous. This is like what has been happening up to the present moment in time. Like maybe your mom comes in and you're working on a report and she says, how long have you been working? I've been working for 2 hours. That's present perfect continuous because it's up until this moment and what's been happening until that time. Okay, or how long have you been a teacher? How long have you been a chef? Even that question is present perfect continuous, because they're asking up until this point, how long has something happened? Okay, are you understanding, Lacey? This is maybe going over your head. I would tell you guys though, that most native English speakers, if you go up to any American and ask them, will you please explain what is past perfect continuous? They will have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
Okay.
the way you are explaining, it's very easy to understand. It is very comprehensible.
Okay, good. I'm glad. The thing is though,
Yep.
because native English speakers, they almost never go over this, where they have this memorized. It's just that maybe their mom, like they said a sentence wrong as a child and their mom immediately corrects them. That's not the proper English. So they kind of just grasp that's how it is said, but they couldn't explain why. All right, so I'm trying to explain why. I'm glad it's good. It's easy to comprehend.
Yeah, it is pretty much similar, like the way I learned my first language. And even though if you're gonna ask me any grammar question regarding my first language, I don't have any idea. But I have idea about English grammar because I'm learning it as my second language. So I have to know everything. So
but
here you are right.
Yes, if somebody tried to ask you in your language, your first language, and they phrased something wrong or they said it the wrong grammar, then you would know it sounds wrong and you can correct them, but maybe you wouldn't know the rules about why. You just know what sounds good. And that shows that you've got a good grasp of it. And that's kind of what you're trying to work towards in English. You want to have a good grasp of it so you know it when it sounds right. Right? Okay.
Yep.
Let's go on with the past perfect continuous then. So this is what had been happening up to a specific moment in the past. Okay, so they had been digging for 3 hours by the time their boss arrived. So this is all in the past, right? So they had been working for 3 hours or whatever until the boss arrived. So that specific moment in the past, let's think of another one. Like in 2005, how long had you been married? So you're asking in the past and also the past of 2005. So it's past perfect continuous, okay?
Yep.
And got that one? So then let's just go over the future perfect continuous. This is what will be happening up to a specific point in the future. Okay? So if I say, maybe the boss comes in and I'm the supervisor. Everybody's working. And he's like, how long are these people working? And I say, well, they will have been working 8 hours by the end of the day. That would be future perfect continuous. Okay?
Yep.
You got that one? Okay.
Yeah.
So what, do you have a question?
Like when we are learning like tense, like we are just talking about, like for an example, present perfect continuous, and we frame a sentence that I have been learning English for 1 year. Okay, so and you already told us that in every single sentence in English there are subjects, verb, and object. So can we frame a kind of like formula, like for this sentence, I have been learning English for 1 year. So here I is the subject, have plus been plus the ing form of the verb and the ing form of the verb, learning, and then the object, learning English. Like, can we make this sort of formula like for specific tense? I think it would be easy to remember for those who are learning. Because like I'm asking, like, can we make that sort of formula?
Yeah, let's do that actually, and I'll do it on the whiteboard. Let me find my pen. Okay, so let's say let's do the one you said.
Yep.
What was it? I have been
learning English for last 1 year.
I have been learning English
for last 1 year.
So we would say for the past year.
Okay.
For the sorry, that looks bad.
Okay.
Past year. Okay, so here's the sentence we're working with. I have been learning English for the past year. So this is definitely going to be which tense? Out of
The
past?
present.
Yes, yes.
Present perfect continuous.
Good.
Or
Okay, so I have been learning. Oh, sorry. This is present. Yes, I have been learning for the English for the past year. Okay.
Yep.
So let's say if you you could change this to the past tense by saying I have and take out the been. I have been learning. I have learned English for the past year. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing you all of it.
Like it sounds like present perfect. Like I have learned English for the past year. Yeah, okay.
So this is this one would be, let's see, simple past. I have learned English.
Okay.
But then if it was just I have learned English, period, that would be, and we took out this part, then that's just simple past tense, right?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. But if we wanted to add the for the past year, that would be past perfect.
Okay. I have done English for the past year. So like, can we say that like here, like when we change the helping verb, like has, have, or is, or am, or are, when we change them,
yes,
we are directly changing the tense or the time of that particular action.
Yes, because
can we say that
the tenses are all for the verbs, right? They all have to do with the verbs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So for example, if we have, I'm just going to write down one verb, and this is the the present tense of the verb. Come. So that would be simple present, come. But the past.
So like
how would you?
Came.
Yes, it goes
come,
to
came, come.
Now on some of the verbs, you would just have to put a D or ED to make it past, but we can't do that with come. So good, you already knew that one. So come goes to came, and then in the future, it would be what?
Come.
For
like,
simple future. Simple future would just be will come. He will come. Okay, so
he will come.
Yes, come, came, and will come. Now that's starting to sound weird. Okay, all right, let's do another one. Like hike. Do you know hike?
Hike, yeah.
Okay, so hike would be the simple present tense.
Or the past would be like hike. Like
Yes.
H-I-K-E.
Exactly. Hike. Then we go to hiked. And then what about the future? In the future, we
will hike.
We will hike.
We will hike. Yeah.
Okay. So then let's try to make this a little more complicated, because these are all only the simple versions of past, present, and future.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So how would we do it for past perfect?
Past perfect, like hike. I think like it is also remain the same. H-I-K-E-D, hike.
Yes. Like he had already hiked 8 miles when we got there. Something like that.
Yeah.
You guys do miles or kilometers?
So, yes, we do.
You do miles? or kilometers?
Kilometers.
Oh, kilometers. Okay. All right. All right. So then let's try it with past continuous.
Okay. Like past continuous, I think hiking. Like we're just gonna add the ing.
Yes.
Hiking.
So he was
He-
hiking. Yes.
Yeah.
So that would be hiking. Like he was hiking for 5 hours yesterday. So that could also be the specific moment in the past. 5 hours yesterday. Okay, so then let's try past perfect continuous or hike.
Okay. Hiking. Yeah.
It's still hiking, but instead of was hiking, it would be had been hiking.
Yeah, just we're gonna change the helping verb, like was.
Yes, you're just
Even-
changing those helping verbs.
Yeah, even we're gonna say this particular sentence in present progressive, like it will be like he is hiking. If we're gonna say it in the past, he was hiking.
Yes.
If we're gonna say it in the present perfect progressive, it will be like he has been hiking. And
Yes.
if you're gonna say that in past perfect continuous, it will be like he had been hiking.
He had been hiking. Perfect. You got it. You've got a really good grasp of this. Okay, so let me see if I can stump you with any of these. I'll just put up one verb, and then you tell me what is the past tense, like work.
Okay. Worked. WORKED. Worked.
Good. How about camp? Did you know camp can be a verb? I like to camp.
Yeah, but it will be. But I think it will remain the same. Camp. I think like we
Okay.
can use.
How about this one? I'm gonna try and trick you with this one. Shake, like you shake hands.
Shook, shake, shook, and
Yes. And will shake.
yeah, will shake. Yeah.
So that one goes to shook. How about sleep?
Sleep, slept.
Yes.
Slept, SLEPT.
Good. SLEPT. Some people would say sleeped, and that would be wrong. How about, okay, one more. Let's see if you know the past tense of run.
Ran. RAN. Ran.
Exactly. Good. Okay, so
Yep.
all of these, if you wanted to do future tense, would be like will work, will camp, will shake.
Will
not
shake. Will sleep.
will sleep,
Will sleep.
will
run.
run. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? I guess we have less than a minute to go.
Well, like I don't have any question, but like I usually get, I think, once a week to attend class with you, but whatever I have learned, it is very helpful for me.
Oh, I'm
Like, it's
glad.
been, I think, yeah. And like I have already made a like chat for like the tense, like different type of tense and different type of
good.
sentences. So like if I'm gonna share that over that like group, the Scorpion group, like can you please check it? I
Oh,
think
sure.
you were there.
Yes. And I
Well, I
will
think-
send you a chart about all these tenses. That makes it easy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it-
We'll
it
see
is.
you guys
Thank
next time. All
Bye.
right. Bye.
Bye.